Batman Arkham City just got an entirely new mode. It's a mod, but it might as well be an official mode. The Ascension Overhaul mod, which substantially, and I mean substantially, increases the game's difficulty to unfathomable levels at some points. This game already had an insane difficulty mod, but this one's a whole nother level that puts the other one to shame, and it just came out very recently, like a week ago at the time of this video. I got to play it early, and I'm going to break down my playthrough and how it went and how the mod is different throughout the main story. The mod was created by GCPD. Shout outs to them, huge shout outs. They're a huge modder in the Arkham community, creating incredible stuff to keep the games thriving. Their links will obviously be in the description below. Please support GCPD. So the mod, what does it do? To put it in the simplest of terms, reworked boss fights, higher enemy damage and reconfigured spawns, limited health upgrades, special combo gadgets plus faster traversal, and predator sections redesigned for high tension. You'll see how huge some of these changes are as we talk about the story, like the reworked boss fights for example, like they're actually different. Enemies and predator sections can see you from across the room and one-shot you. There's a lot of crazy stuff to talk about. I spent enough time talking about it. Let's go ahead and go through how the game's story plays with the Ascension Overhaul mod. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, follow my streams. I stream this mod there. It'll be in the description, and let's move on. Okay, so the beginning of the game starts with Catwoman, and here I got hit on purpose just to see the damage, and as you can see, you die in like 2 hits to regular thugs. It just drains your health. I actually died here on purpose just to see, and indeed I saw. Add 1 to the death counter. But yes, enemies are naturally faster in this mod. You really have to time counters and attacks in order to not die. After the Catwoman section, we get to play as Batman and start the first section of the game, which is the Two-Face courtroom scene. Now, this section got changed. First of all, there's people with guns here, and Two-Face's gun will kill you in 2 hits. As you will see, it hits me, and I really have to lock in to not get hit again or else I'm dead. Something to note in this mod is that some moves are faster. Beatdowns, for example, are faster in this mod, which is nice, allowing for easier knockouts with it. And things like ground takedowns are also quicker. This fight right here also has more enemies as well. I had to look at Two-Face and just see when he shoots his gun, and when he does, I use that window of opportunity to take down more enemies. It's a pretty difficult first fight, but I beat it without dying. But as you will see, this fight is a cakewalk compared to what comes later. Moving on, we go on to get the grapple boost upgrade. Now, something amazing that GCPD put into this mod is faster traversal. Look how quick the grapple boost boosts you. It's Arkham Knight levels of speed. Such a good quality of life change that makes this mod awesome, and I hope he just adds this later as its own separate mod at some point. Now it's time for the Steel Mill section 2, and this section has some crazy things that wake me up to how crazy this mod can get. Now, the initial fight is nothing crazy at all. Just a bunch of regular thugs. However, let's fast forward to the first real predator section of the game. Now, the beginning here. One of the regular thugs is replaced by an armored henchman. So normally you can go for a double takedown here, but not anymore in this mod. So I tried this room differently. I went across this room to take this guy down, and I tried to backclaw the armored henchman off the ledge, but as you can see, this mod makes armored henchmen impervious to backclaw pulls, as well as things like being immune to the insta-kill sonic shock battering, as you will see later in the story. They are just way tougher to beat. So in this section, I try to throw a smoke bomb and try to beat down the armored henchman. However, I quickly then find out people with guns can shoot you way further in this mod. I got shot from across the room here and died in less than a second. Goodbye. Yeah, you can't just cheese some knockouts in Predator here. You actually have to lock in. In the next go, I lured the armor guy really away from everyone to do a real beatdown and just took my time to clear the room slowly and steadily and moved on to the next fight, which is Mr. Hammer. Or, I'm sorry, as you will see, Mr. Hammers, as in plural, as in there's 2 of them in this mod now. So in this fight, as you will see, it's not too hard initially. Using the reg gun to stun them and evade their attacks makes it not too bad. They can jump at you too though. Can they do this in the actual game? I actually don't know because I always insta-take them down, so but yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I mess up on my first go. I go for a counter on this guy. The hammers can still hit you during this, and as you see, I counter, he attacks, I die in 1 hit because they kill me in 1 hit. Crazy, right? I have to be precise with counters to avoid dying. In the next go, I die again. I try to punch the regular thug in front of them. However, Batman decides to somersault past him into Mr. Hammer's attack, dying. Amazing. I beat it on the next go though. It's a really interesting first real section of the game here in the Silent Steel Mill. As you see, Predator sections are increasingly and substantially difficult, and boss fights like the simple Mr. Hammer also got notable changes. Moving on, we have the Catwoman section. Nothing here was changed outside of the damage and speed buffs to regular thugs, and I didn't die here either, so nothing to say here. But now we move on with Batman, going towards a GCPD building to find Mr. Freeze. As you see, both main entrances are now blocked by armored guys instead of regular thugs. I went around using this air vent and actually used the erect gun I now have to take them down. I did a ground takedown on one of them, and then I waited until the other 3 regular thugs across the room spread apart for me to pick them off. Nothing too bad here. Next part of the game is the Penguin Museum. First things first, take out the 3 signal jammers around the map to gain access. First jammer, simple combat section, no issue there. The next one is the Predator section, and I fumbled the bag here immensely. I die multiple times. The first time, I take out this guy first. I usually always take this guy out first on each go of the section. I tried climbing up here to throw a smoke bomb, but I accidentally trip and fall, and these guys see me and insta-kill me. Goodbye. The next time I do throw the smoke bomb, but as you see, it depletes faster, and this guy sees me through it and kills me so fast I didn't even know what happened. I feel like smoke bombs are nerfed in this update, but I can't really confirm that. The next time I try going for this guy that's alone over here, but the 2 guards see me, shoot me, and kill me again. The next time I manage to spread them out, silent take down this guy here, and right before I can backclaw this guy, he sees me and shoots me down. I'm dead. Amazing. Next time I try double ledge takedowning the guys, but they see me below and kill me and I'm dead again. And after this, someone told me you can just silent double takedown these guys. I didn't know that, honestly, since their backs don't look completely turned, but you can, and I take them out, and I take this guy out and move on. Great. Insane number of deaths here, but whatever. After that, I take down the last jammer, no problem, and move on to the Iceberg Lounge. Now, the Iceberg Lounge, or the Iceberg Museum, what is different about it? First of all, the gladiator fight. So there's 2 big fights in this section as normal, like in the original game. The first one here though in the mod has a Titan beast guy, where normally it doesn't. So that increases the difficulty. Oh, and also something to note now, free flow focus in this mod isn't broken, nor is it that good. The game does not slow down here for you. So what would normally be free easy fights with a free flow focus are still extremely difficult in this mod, so you can't rely on it. And also, this mod removes the multi-battering takedown. It's such a cheesy special takedown that's removed from this mod, like I said, which I'm actually really happy about. So yeah, so some really good changes, and I beat this first fight here, but the next fight now has 2 Titan guys. So now I have to take care of 2 of them. However, in this fight, I managed to beat them and not die. Evading over regular thugs makes it easy to dodge their charging attacks, so I did that, beat them, and moved on. Moving on, the next fight is Mr. Sickle. Now you might think there might be 2 Mr. Sickles here. You'd be wrong, actually. However, all the enemies around him are now armored, so in this fight, I go for a beatdown on one of the armored guys, but for some reason, he takes forever to knock out, and Mr. Sickle gets ready for an attack. I thought I had enough distance to dodge it, but I didn't. He swings, I die in 1 hit, goodbye. That one's on me, I guess, but the next time I was able to beat it successfully. Moving on, there's a Predator section. This Predator section has more armored henchmen, which makes it difficult, but I was able to beat it without dying. Sometimes Predator sections in this game can be hit or miss for me. Thankfully, this one was a hit. But now, now is the Solomon Grundy boss fight. Now, Grundy is such BS. Let's get into it. So the first phase, honestly very easy. I just went around explosive gel to 3 power generator things, taking down the first phase, nothing to note there. The next phase, I realized how fast Grundy moves in this mod. Look at this. I die fast. I thought I had time to dodge his attack here, but nope. Grundy's attacks are faster in this mod, and he kills you in 1 hit as well. The next go, he hits me, but I barely survive. I managed to take out the 3 generators and take him down for the final phase. Now, the final phase, look at this. Okay. What the? What the? Oh, okay. What the? Incredibly difficult. So Grundy's shockwave just keeps going and going. The window of time to explosive gel the generators is so small. After dying, I spawn right here, giving me an easy gel takedown on this first generator near me. After that though, I just couldn't find an opportunity to go for the next one. I kept on dying here a lot, and as of now, I really don't see the rhythm. It feels like sometimes there's 3 shockwaves, other times there's 2. I don't know the consistency, which makes this really difficult. I think there's a small window where you can gel where Grundy raises his hand to slam the ground again, but I think I just kept missing it. Not to mention the generators are sometimes in a stun state, which forces you to wait to plant gel, making it harder. After dying a bunch, I managed to find a random chance to gel the generators and win, but I need to go back to this fight because I don't have a consistent idea on how to beat it. But this one change made this really fun and definitely memorable. I really like the Grundy changes here, it was well done. And after that, there's the Penguin. I think Penguin has more rockets here in his rocket launcher before he needs to reload, so I got hit once with it and lived, but yes, I took the hit, beat him, beat the museum, incredible. But overall, the Grundy fight was a huge takeaway from the Iceberg Lounge, but the other areas here had very notable changes that made the section feel fresh and challenging. I liked it a lot. The museum is one of my favorite dungeons in the series, so this made me happy. Moving on, we have the Ghul section. Now, there's not too many differences to the Ghul section. The combat sections didn't feel any different really, which isn't a fault of the mod or anything. The trailer Ghul just simply doesn't have many enemies. There's a Predator section here too. This has differences. For example, there's 2 detective mode jammers, and armored guys as well. However, I was able to clear this room without dying, ending it with a backlaw ledge takedown, but I feel like I could have died here easily if I just messed up once. But I kinda just got it the first time. I get to Wonder City, nothing different, you just fight ninjas. Another notable thing is that blade dodges are actually super sped up here, so it's hard to perform them to instant knockout enemies, which increases the difficulty overall, which I think is nice. But yes, after that, there's the Ghul challenges. Nothing changed here, everything is normal, but then we move on to the Ghul boss fight. Now Ghul, some notable differences. First of all, the beginning phase, nothing has really changed here about that, it's pretty normal. But once it becomes this giant sand Ghul form, as you can see, there's a second layer behind his shield of sand ninja guys, I think. It blocks the wreck shots that would normally hit. Or I think that's what's happening. I actually don't really truthfully know. If someone can let me know, go ahead and let me know. But either way, I kept spamming the red gun until it did damage, and it would eventually do damage to beat that phase. After that, we move on to the next phase. And in this one, there's a bunch of sand ninja guys that jump at you. And as you can see, or if you can't see, I'll just say it, the number of ninjas here has increased substantially. The mod gave you like, what, 10 to 20 more enemies here? It's insane. And any mistake you do, you're probably gonna die. On the first go here, I did die in the middle of it, which sucks because then you have to fight all these guys again, which I had to. But I find it interesting. This challenge forces you to lock in for a very long time because yeah, you die in 1 to 2 hits. You may think it's easy, but all it takes is like one mess up and you're dead. So this to me felt more like a matter of self-control and patience rather than pure generic difficulty, which I think is cool. That's how I looked at it. But yes, next go, I was able to beat them. Race then goes into Super Sand mode. I find out here that you can go in between the blades, which is pretty funny. I actually didn't know that. It made spamming the red gun easier, which I did. I took some damage, but it wasn't fatal, and I was able to win, beat Raish, and move on. Overall, fun mod for Ghul's boss fight. Like I said, the fact that you had to lock in for a long time to not die was cool to me. I took that as the concept there for myself, and it made it fun and interesting. But yes, Ghul is done and done. Now, on the way out of the sewers, you run into the stealth section. Like an idiot, I tried beating this room, and as you'll see, I died multiple times here. It sucks. It's here where I fully realized that sonic shock batterings don't work on armored henchmen, making it that much more difficult. But yes, I kept dying because how strong the thugs are and how their vision is increased, something I struggled to fully grasp in the entire run really. But eventually I got out and exited. Still sucks though that I died here a lot. And then I got to this room full of these enemies. Normally this is simple, but as you'll see, I die once. Goes to show you that if you lay your guard down even once, you die really fast. Even in easier fights like this, you have to lock in. Moving on though, after getting the remote mine detonator, it is time for the Mr. Freeze boss fight. Now, what's different about the Mr. Freeze boss fight? First of all, it's this.
Oracle, Freeze is attacking me. Get me the telemetry.
Yes, he can kill you in one hit. If you're kind of out of the center blast zone of his attack, you can live as I did in the next go, but other than that, you're gonna die. You have to perform 10 different takedowns on Mr. Freeze to beat him. Now this fight actually took trial and error. Other than his initial death on me, I died here where I was in the floor grate because for some reason, I thought he couldn't see me, but he could, and I died. It sucks. It sucks because it takes a while to beat him, right? I died again on the next go because I tried to go behind him. He turned around, stunned me, and one-shot me. Amazing. The next time I was able to use 10 takedowns successfully without taking damage. I learned from my mistakes like Tony Stark. Like I quick fired his ice scanner things he would send out and things like that, and I was able to beat him. Amazing. It's pretty cool changes for Mr. Freeze. It makes it way scarier to get caught, so I think everything here was implemented well. It was well done. Moving on though, we get to what I believe might be the hardest part of the mod, the Scion and Steel Mill Section 2. So the beginning is all fairly simple. I mean, the Predator section behind the building, nothing's changed. I took them out with ease. I was able to enter the building, navigate past, and get to the Predator section, which I managed to beat here without dying. Then the rest is fairly simple. Nothing to say here until we get to the Joker Funhouse. Now, the Joker Funhouse. Where do I start with this? First of all, the room is filled with all Joker clones. I think this is to make it feel like it's Clayface, which is really awesome. And all the Joker guys that come in first, all come in with throwable objects ready to be thrown at you, so that's really cool and increases the difficulty. And after that, there's 2 Mr. Hammers. Yes, 2 Mr. Hammers and a Titan Enhanced Behemoth. And later on in this fight, as you'll see, there's a second Titan Enhanced Behemoth coming in as well. And with how much hits each of these people can take, it was actually extremely difficult. As you're gonna see, it took me like 8 attempts before I beat it. It's crazy. They would kind of come in like one at a time, but still, between how compact they made the area due to the trains coming at you, this was the hardest section of the game for me personally. After a while, I did manage to beat it. I just found openings on the bigger enemies, and which was the hard part, but once I did that, I beat it after like 8 attempts. It's insane. I'd say this was the hardest fight, even more so than Grundy. You have to play for yourself, I think, because it might feel easy on paper, but it's not. But it's really fun, and I'm glad GP Unity was able to pull this off in the mod. It's very memorable. Moving on, though, we have the Catwoman section. I actually died here a bit to some shenanigans. One person spotted me because of the enhanced vision of the other thugs, so I died there. There's this one here where this guy saw me through this little opening of the shelf and shot me. It was such BS. I actually got upset about that. Like, it was kind of stupid, right? Whatever though. Eventually I got past this part on my 38th attempt. Yippee. I moved on. We get to play as Batman again in the Protocol 10 section now. Moving on to Protocol 10. Scanning the helicopters was no issue. The guns here can shred you apparently, so I made sure to dodge their gunships. After that, getting near Wonder Tower and fighting these weights enemies off was pretty easy. I beat them without any issue. However, now there's the Predator section where I died 3 times, mainly due to a mix of messing up some moves, not realizing an enemy can see me, and so on. Simple stuff in this mod I should have already known. After a while I was able to beat it and move on. For me, the good thing about dying in these things multiple times is that I develop strategies on how to beat the rooms for the future, which I can take away from them each time I play. Moving on though, we have the next Predator section, right before taking down Hugo Strange, and I made more mistakes here. 3 more, in fact. It's so hard to realize how far away the enemies can see you at times, and when I was trying to sneak behind someone afar would see me and notify everybody else and I would die. I did find a cool strategy here though, where I would push armored enemies off after freezing them near the ledge, using a remote control battering, which will push them off the ledge in this mod still, which, you know, for once in its life, the remote control battering is actually useful, and it's in the mod, go figure. After dying like 3 times though, I beat it. I beat Hugo Strange, and I move on to the final section of the game, Clayface. Now Clayface, first of all, there's the snipers guarding the theater. Nothing was changed here. It's the same as the original game. It would have been crazy if they were all armored. I wouldn't even know how to beat them if they were all armored, but they're not, so great. I beat them normally. But after that, we fight Clayface. Now, Clayface, his changes is that his health has been dramatically increased. In fact, it's so much more increased that it goes past the visible health bar. It feels like he's invincible at first, which I thought he was, but no, he just has so much more life. On top of that, I died a few times, mainly because here we can counter his attack where Batman does like a dodge animation. Usually you can do that on all like 4 of his attacks, but in this mod, sometimes you can't. And I didn't know that, and I died more than once. It took me a while to understand that, but eventually I did. But yes, since he has so much health, you really gotta take advantage of the explosives on the corners of the arena, which I did. Eventually I got to his second phase. I died here because when he started spin dashing at me, he hit the wall and bounced back towards me. I forgot that happens and he one-shot me. Great. Eventually though, I was able to beat a second phase and move on to the final phase. Now this phase, I completely underestimated. Here, it takes more ice pellets to take down Clayface. He has more health. On top of that, his slime minion things hit fast and still 2-shot you. In fact, there's times where 2 of them will hit you at the same time, insta-killing you. I mess up here a lot. I kept getting hit. I missed time counters and died. The time it takes for me to move my thumb from the punch button to the counter button is actually detrimental in this run because that window of opportunity, you can get hit. And also here, sometimes I feel like Batman wouldn't throw his ice at Clayface and rather one of his minions. So you have to sometimes angle it correctly for Batman to hit Clayface, which, yeah, it messed up for me. I died here like 6 times. Insane. Until I was finally able to beat it at 52 tries. New 52, man. And thus, I've completed the overhaul mod for Batman Arkham City. Overall, there were substantial changes here that made the game way more difficult. Notably to me is a Grundy boss fight as well as a Joker Funhouse boss fight. Those were the most difficult to me, but this entire run, it's like if I made one mistake, I'm dead. I died 52 times, that's a lot. I didn't expect that much, but I did. But this mod makes this game so much more fun, and I'm really excited to play through it again, perhaps with a new challenge. We'll see. But thank you so much to GPUnity for making it. His links are down below. He's going to make a mod for Arkham Knight, so I'm super excited for that since Arkham Knight is my favorite game of the series. But if you enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like, a subscribe, anything really, man. It all really helps out. But I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe and peace.